So I'd like to provide a narration to some work that I did last fall with Mozilla. And this work that I did last fall was about thinking about how the browser, Firefox or Chrome or Safari or Internet Explorer could be modernized to become more social. And a browser is usually called your user agent. That's kind of how it identifies itself to the web. And the idea of a user agent is that it's software or a program that acts on your behalf. So you trust it to do just about everything. You tell it all the websites that you go to. I mean, your relationship with your browser is a very personal one. So with everything that's going on with the socialization of the web and people using the web for more and more social activities, it became and has become at least clear, I think, increasingly that there's a real opportunity to think about how the browser can act as a social agent as opposed to just a generic user agent. So by layering in concepts like identity and sharing and following, the hope was to, I guess, upgrade the browser into something that was more personal, something that was actually your social agent for interacting on the web. And a lot of this actually comes down to thinking about how we put your identity into the browser. How do you tell the browser who you are? And once it knows who you are, how do you tell it who your friends are and how to pay attention to what your friends are doing so that when your friends are doing something interesting, it can let you know. It can bring you into conversations. It can show you new photos, new media, new types of interactions and possibilities that you could engage in with your friends. How would having this kind of information in the browser improve, enhance, or create new opportunities for all kinds of new experiences online? So with that, we kind of thought, well, the first place that we need to start is with figuring out how to tell the browser who you are, and that begins with what we call the account chooser. So in this case, the account chooser is more than just a password manager, the kind of password manager that you might have right now with Firefox, or, for example, a local profile that you store your bookmarks in. The idea of the account chooser goes beyond that. In a very subtle way, the interface is not all that different, but the idea is that you want to be connecting to what we call an identity provider that is on the web someplace. It's not enough to just have an account that's stored on your computer. Fundamental to this idea is that the web is a uniter of your identity and your accounts and your ability to connect with other people. And so the account chooser is the first place that you start to connect with an identity provider that's somewhere on the web. Just like you can take a SIM card out of your cell phone and put it into another cell phone in order to route your calls to that phone, to the new phone, we think that it should be possible to do the same thing with your digital identities online. So just like I can, let's say, log into an account on my iPhone or my Nexus One or whatever it's going to be, and then I can sign out and log in on my desktop computer, or I could sign in on my Xbox and things like that. The idea that you should be able to take your identity with you from one device to another is very important. And being able to do that in a way that reduces complexity, allows you to take your accounts that you use all over the place to just about any context and any device is a lot of the background to what we're thinking about here. So anyways, if we take a look at the account chooser, again, it's fairly familiar. You have a number of different accounts. In this case, I've got 3 connected or activated, we call these activated accounts, stored with this social agent. And so right now I'm going to add one more account. So I click on the Add New button here, and what I'm going to see is a dialog that comes up, what we call a sheet, asking me to pick a provider, one of these connect providers. And all of these connect providers shown here presumably would be able to support the protocols and technologies that would give me the ability to have a choice in where I host my identity online. Now, if I don't want to use any of these commercial providers, Google or Twitter or Facebook, Yahoo or AOL, I can choose to host it myself using a technology called OpenID. Now, I will point out that OpenID is not quite at the point where it would enable this kind of functionality per se, but we're not far off from the day when an OpenID provider could actually do a number of things for you, just as any of these other services could. So let's go ahead and click on the OpenID button here, and